Another week of the Street Fighter League has come and gone. I am James Chen.
Hey, I'm Ultra David. We have a whole new set of matches to analyze, so let's jump right into it.
So we began with one of our favorites, the team that we picked as the favorite, of course, Inferno, Punk, JB, and Broly Legs going up against Team Storm of IDOM, Samurai, and Classico.
When it came turn for the bans, of course Inferno banned Laura. There's absolutely no surprise. There's no other option.
Poor IDOM.
IDOM's never gonna get to play Laura. We continue to think that, barring some kind soul out there who takes pity on them, but that was not Inferno this week.
Yep. And of course, Storm banned Karen. And again, I feel like right now, one of the things that's been benefiting Inferno is that JB has been able to get away with using Rashid 2 weeks in a row. He's already admitted he has no secondary. Like, why not? I mean, IDOM knows this too well. Why not do the same thing to, Team Inferno? Because banning one of Punk's characters,
he's got too many. We've already seen the Cammy and the Colleen. They both have looked legit so far. So JB started things out by beating IDOM. Again,
looked a little better.
The birdie?
Yeah.
A little bit better, I suppose, but still not quite up to what he needs it to be. I liked what Broly Legs did against Classico, but not quite enough. Although I did appreciate his chattiness.
Dude, it was so close. It was like down to the wire.
Super close.
Punk beat Samurai, but Samurai won the first game, and I felt like he had that crucial execution error in game 2. And mentally, I don't feel like he recovered because, as you said, they have a two-man team. Any mistake like that is gonna just be weighed that much more. And so unfortunately, he lost that one. And JB just cleaned up at the end versus Classico.
Yeah, look, Classico later on after they played was interviewed and he said that he knows that it's a two-person team. IDOM's not gonna get to play Laura, so it's really up to Classico and Samurai. They're both very good. They both had good showings this week, but they cannot make any errors. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's kind of, it's a sad situation for them, but that's the truth of it. So any little error is gonna be magnified in importance because there's not a third player on the team.
Right, so as a result, Inferno 2-0, Team Storm 0-2.
Then the second battle, of course, was Frost, which is Nephew, Up to Snuff, and Dual Kevin, against Gale, which is NuckleDo, Shine, and Rob TV.
That's right, and Team Frost decided to ban Ibuki, Shine's Ibuki. And remember, that's exactly what happened to Shine last week, but it didn't work out for, the opposing team last time. Shine did fine. And then Gale decided to ban Colleen because why wouldn't you? That's like ban the captain's character, right?
Right, he doesn't have a secondary, right?
Yeah, I mean, remember last week Punk didn't ban him and we were like, why would you not ban this character? But we'll get to that in a second.
Definitely, yeah. So at the start it was Rob TV versus Dual Kevin. Little error, unfortunately, for Dual Kevin. Rob TV, in part because of that, ends up getting through. Then we saw the battle of the two secondaries, Nephew versus Shine.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say this, okay? Nephew, he looks like such a nice guy, right? But in reality, what a G. I mean, look, I didn't know he had a G, but he looked really, I'm not gonna say he looked like amazing, right? I mean, he definitely, you could see a little bit of holes in his gameplay, not quite to the level that he plays Colleen, but it was good enough to take out Shine.
Well, yeah, after Up to Snuff versus Do, in which Do was basically dominant, basically blew up. Then it was...
With Cammy, though.
With Cammy, that's right. Then it was the Nephew show.
Yeah, then it was Nephew and Rob TV. And again, Rob TV looked strong at the start, but then, look, G is just that character. No matter how much you have a life lead, V-Trigger 1 activation, you're dead. That's it, right? And Nephew definitely had some of those G comebacks and ended up beating Rob TV and had to fight NuckleDo at the end.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. A little scrambly at the start of it, but then huge comeback by Nephew, extremely dominant. He ends up making the complete reverse one character victory, or OCV, with the G, with his secondary.
With his secondary, and so, I honestly do think that G doesn't lose the Cammy as much as a lot of people think. I think his buttons beat her ground buttons really well.
I'm with you. I've been saying that the whole time.
And this is interesting, because this is the whole dynamic of Team Frost, because now, maybe Punk was right in week 1 to not ban Colleen. Maybe banning, Nikali was the right choice, because banning Colleen didn't work out so well.
It did not work at all. In fact, I think you're right that moving forward, people are going to have to look at this match and how it went in terms of deciding how they're going to ban against Team Frost. But look, I think everybody on Team Gale played well. They had to, they did their jobs at the start for the most part. It's just that, wow, Nephew was super on today, and his team ends up getting the win.
So we close out with Spirit. Of course, that's Justin Wong, Brian F, and Psycho versus Team Psycho, you know, which has Toy, El Chicote, and Just a Kid. And we always joke that it was appropriately named Team Psycho, but we haven't seen any Psycho power on the team.
There's no Bison, that's right. That was the ban again against Toy, so he couldn't use his favorite character and the character he's clearly best with. The other side I think is more interesting though. Psycho banned Karen specifically, thereby forcing Justin onto Minot. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's an interesting choice because, you know, I feel like if you're gonna not ban Minot, why not ban Brian F's Balrog? I feel like they're kind of being fortunate again that they're getting away with 2 weeks of Brian F. I mean, I don't know how strong Brian F's secondaries are, but you feel like you would want to remove one player from the matchup, right? But maybe they just were really that scared of fighting against Justin's Karen. So they just they said they were confident against Minot.
They did, although Classico said in an interview that he saw some of them getting blown up by the Minot the previous time. So I don't know, I think it's a curious choice. In the actual matches, Brian F ends up taking game number 1.
Yeah, versus El Chicote. Yeah.
Then you had Justin versus Toy. Toy actually kept it close.
Yeah, that went to the last game and last round, and it's funny because we were kind of criticizing him, maybe jumping a little too much against Classico last week, but against Minot, maybe it worked out.
No, I mean, yeah, his style of holding up forward actually did work out against Justin, just not, I mean, as well as he didn't get the whole win, but it was all right. Then you had Psycho versus Just a Kid. You know, a little bit back and forth in the first couple of games, Just a Kid ends up doing it. And then at that point, it's the same situation that Just a Kid was in last week of he needs to make the complete comeback by himself.
And then he fights Brian F, who Brian F says they play all the time, and he was like, I usually beat him. But just like Vicious said, this is the time to shine, and Just a Kid did exactly that. And again, he starts the reverse OCV comeback, and he wins 2 matches in a row, and then has to go up against the final boss.
Exactly right. Yeah, he had to play against Justin Wong, and although Just a Kid did get in a lot, his movement was good, he made a lot of good decisions in getting in.
Yeah,
once he was in, Justin's defense, too good.
Yeah, I felt like against anyone else they would have crumbled, but Justin, you know, that's what he's known for, is that defense, right?
Absolutely right.
But again, how do you not call Just a Kid the MVP of these 2 weeks?
Well,
right?
let me put this into very stark terms for you. Just a Kid currently is 5-1 in matches among the 2 weeks we've had. You know what his teammates are? A big old 0-4. All right, there's no argument about who the MVP is so far in the Street Fighter League.
Yeah, Just a Kid, I love watching his jury. It's amazing. Team Spirit, of course, doing, you know, not as well as we thought. We had them picked up to go high, but, you know, Justin went with Falk. I mean, maybe you didn't have to ban Karen, so he would have picked Falk. But anyways, you know, they're 1-1 now. Actually, both teams are 1-1 now. So, you know, both teams looking pretty strong so far.
So after these 2 weeks, if you check the standings, you have Inferno on top. I think that's probably not a big surprise.
Right.
Or the team that we thought was probably going to be the best. Yeah. On the bottom, you have Storm at 0-2.
Yeah, but again, it's a 2-person team because of the IDOM situation, so.
Everybody else is at 1-1 in the middle. It's only the second week, of course. That big jumble, I'm sure it'll all get sorted out eventually.
Exactly, and you don't want to miss any of the action. It's been very exciting so far. And you're going to catch this every Thursday, so make sure you're following Capcom Fighters on all of their streaming platforms, Twitch, YouTube, etc. So don't miss any of that.
Enjoy the matches, everybody.